I had to deal with getting sober. So for me, 22 years ago, I decided it'd be a good idea to jump off of like a 3rd-story deck at a hotel, real dump of a hotel. I was traveling and playing ball onto a hood of a car. There was an altercation going on in the parking lot, and obviously I was drunk and high. If you've ever woken up after you been in a fight drunk, or you had something happen to you drunk, and you're sleeping in your sheets, when you bleed, the good news is, and I'm being sarcastic, is they stick to you. So you wake up in the morning, and then you're sleeping, you're did that really happen last night? I don't know, did that really happen? Did that happen? Did those guys all hit me in the head? Did that guy hit me with a bat? What happened? What did I go through? Then you wake up and the sheets are stuck to you, and you're oh, something happened to me. And you go to the bathroom and you pull them off. So it's an awesome adventure, right? But I decided at that point in time, I want to get sober. Now again, I do have a faith, so I don't apologize for having it. And if you have one, cool. If you don't, cool. I don't judge nobody. It ain't my job to judge them. But I knew that at that point in time, I was just giving up and saying, I haven't fixed this on my own, I need some help. What I want to talk about today quickly, because it's, when I first started talking about me being sober, I did it because I was trying to hold myself accountable. So when I shared it in meetings and groups, and I mean meetings like work meetings, I didn't go to any meetings, not that there's anything wrong with that. I kind of had a buddy of mine who's about 25 years older than me who had been sober. I guess he was my pseudo sponsor. And I decided I wanted a different life. I decided I didn't want to drink the way I drank. I didn't want to use drugs. I didn't want to use cocaine. I didn't want to smoke weed. I didn't want to, I was with the guy the other day, he was eating a honey bun. And he said, man, this is like crack cocaine. I was like, bro, it is not like crack cocaine. I've eaten a lot of honey buns, smoked a lot of crack. They're not remotely the same thing. You know what I mean? The honey bun ain't the best 25 minutes of your life followed by the worst 40 minutes of your life. Honey buns just kind of taste good and it's consistent. It's probably not good for you. I say all that, if you're making this decision in life, if you're saying, you know what, man, I'm thinking I might need to get sober. Number one, I ain't gonna preach to anybody. Everybody should, when I look at people that are out drinking and doing their thing and they don't have the problems I had, I'm not mad at them. I used to be. I'd be like, why is that guy able to drink 3 beers and go home? Why doesn't he drink 33 beers and do an 8-ball? What is his problem, right? That was my thought. What is that dude's deal? And then I realized that everybody doesn't have the problem I have. Just like we all have different problems with different things. So, but if you're thinking about getting sober, the advice I would give you is find somebody that's gone through it. I mean it. That was important to me. If you want to go to meetings, go to meetings. Find somebody that's been through it. I found a guy that had been through it, and it's not that I had been to a couple meetings, but when I went, I just didn't connect with the people that were there. I wasn't big on being a victim either. I chose to drink. I chose to get high. I had that addiction. Yes, I probably had some genetics. Most of the people in my family had some kind of problem with that in one way, shape, or another. So I just knew that I had that. But if you're thinking about doing it, one of the hardest things for you is going to be that I lost a lot of my friends along the way. I didn't want to, I didn't try to, and I don't think I was judging them. I think they're really uncomfortable. I wasn't walking into the bar going what's wrong with y'all? Matter of fact, I went from drinking 30, 35 beers a day, which I did, talk to anybody that I hung out with, and a lot more than that, unfortunately, most days, to drinking 25 Diet Mountain Dews a day. My buddy's like, that's not any more healthy for you. I'm like, I don't jump off the hotels and the cars. I don't drive my car into a tree. I don't fight every guy I see in some bar for no reason at all. I don't do any of those things under the influence of Diet Mountain Dew. So I don't think it's great for me, but it was a better option for me because of who I am. What I would say is if you think you want to do it, you can. Anybody can. It will suck at the beginning. I'm just letting you know that it will suck. It will suck. If you drink a lot, you'll have some physical. I had some, not a ton. I couldn't sleep for a while, a lot of bad headaches. I never used opiates, so I don't know. Those are physically addicting. The rest of the stuff that's out there, most of it is just emotionally addicting, right? So that's mind over matter kind of thing. But I think what you have to do is make sure, and if you need help, go get help. There's nothing wrong with getting help. By the way, especially for us guys, there's nothing wrong with getting help. Nothing wrong with going to therapy and talking to somebody. Nothing wrong with finding 3 or 4 guys that have gone through the same thing you've gone through. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't try to change everybody in the world, and they shouldn't be trying to change you. My decision with the people around me was, dude, I ain't trying to change you, don't try to change me. And a lot of people are like, I don't understand why you're doing this. I'm like, that's good, you don't have to understand my life. It's my life. I didn't need to retell them why I was doing all the terrible things that happened to me, all the mistakes I made, and how I got in trouble and arrested when I was younger all the time, and got always I didn't want to tell them all that. I didn't need to. You don't ever have to validate to anybody, ever, that you're doing something if you think it's in your best interest. You don't. No human being can judge you. God can, but as long as you're not committing a crime, right? But I will tell you this. If somebody else is telling you to do it and you don't want to do it, you're not going to be successful. I had other people in my life for probably 6, 8, 7, 10 years that told me to do it. And I wasn't there yet. When you decide you want to do it, you can do it. And the thing for me was what was cool was being free. I just wanted to control my life again. So if you're going through it, I've been there. I love you, I'm pulling for you. Find people that have gone through it. Go see somebody to talk to. Find like-minded people. But you can beat it. Dude, you can beat that. It don't have to control you. And for those of you that can drink and hang out and do those things casually, it doesn't affect your life, all the power to you, man. I'm not one of them. And I think that's one of the things you have to acknowledge. Once you realize you're not one of them, you're not wired that way. And I think if you have kids, I think you should tell them. I think they should know what their genetics are. There's a genetic predisposition. I don't need to be a scientist. There's a lot of data out there. I didn't need to go to graduate school and study it to know. There's a lot of data out there that shows you that. But if you're looking to do it, I promise you, you can, and it will suck at times. Find other things to replace it, stay busy, stay motivated, get around other people that are like-minded, and then remove yourself from those situations. I didn't go to a bar for probably almost a year because I knew where I was at. I just didn't. I was like, I just know I can't. I just didn't do it, you know? And then after that period of time, I started going like, and now, I mean, man, 3-4 years into it, I can go anywhere. Everybody can be drunk, be doing their thing, do whatever they're doing all night long. I kind of realized by midnight, probably a bad idea for me to be here. Something bad's gonna pop off, and I'm sober. And I also don't want to get in a fight when I'm sober, because I was pretty good at it drunk. Sober, I'd be a lot better at it because you know what you're hitting all the time. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot easier sober. You know, I'm pick a fight with a sober guy that can fight. So, you know, you can do it. And I believe in you, and, you know, people are always going to talk crap, so what? It doesn't have to be part of your life if you don't want it to be.